Awesome. So I'm really glad you guys are on tonight. Kind of a smaller crowd than last week, but that's totally fine. There's a couple days left in this month, so reaching for a success club is definitely what's on my mind right now. I know I need one more point, and I'm determined to do it. Bridget, I'm sure you're doing great. No, not this month. You need one more? You can do it. You got this. Sandra, you're just kicking things off, and I'm really excited for you.
Thank you. I'm trying.
People know what you do now, though, so this is good. This is awesome.
Yeah, I know, really.
Yes. And Brian, I haven't actually talked to you on a phone or anything, but he's been a coach for a little while. He is, I think, on Sandra's side. I think, Sandra, you're somewhere along that too, under Becca and her team. Cool. Let's see. So I was going to talk about the personal development that I had just picked up and make a goal for you guys to do too, because that seemed to work really well last week when we stated what our goals were at the end and had to post about it and tag somebody and all of that. It took everybody out of their comfort zone. So what I came up with now is a personal development goal, but it's more of a public accountability tool. What I'm going to do is my profile picture is going to be of me and whatever book I'm reading for that month. So every month, my picture is going to change. I know some people can read a book in like 2 days or whatever their time allotment is. For me, like I read 1 chapter of this book yesterday. Most of it retained, but I'm going to have to read that chapter all over again because there was so much information in it. And that's pretty much how every personal development book goes. You can read it over and over. You can read The Slight Edge 3 times and still take away something new. So snap a picture of yourself. It can be your profile picture. That's what I'm going to do. Or post it in the coach group and say, this is what I'm reading. Okay. Or listening to. If it's a podcast, like screenshot your podcast that you're listening to. We were talking about that a couple of weeks ago, I think. Or in the coach group as well. So anyway, I got this book called Girl Code because I saw Melanie Mitro reading it like several months ago. And it was success, sanity, and happiness for the female entrepreneur. But the first chapter, it really goes into your mentality of basically how I talked about how I was way before becoming a coach, like high school days and early marriage, things like that. The intimidation factor and not having the, what's the right word? I guess the courage to just be amongst other like entrepreneurs and people that were determined to set goals and make them happen. That stuff used to just terrify the crap out of me because they knew what they wanted and they were going for it and they were confident towards their dreams, and I was clueless. And I kind of thought all the compliments and the hey girls and the, oh, you know, you're doing so awesome, I thought that was just shallow compliments, and there was something on the other side of it. And when you're in that place and when you're thinking like that, there's no way you're ever going to succeed in anything. You can be an employee at an office desk, and if you think that, you will always be sitting at that same desk for the next 20 years because you're going to limit yourself to having any kind of progress or having your bosses see you as something more. The minute you change your mindset into knowing that you're just as equal as everybody else around you, or you can even change the way that they see you and they think of you and that you see them, that's when everything falls into place. But it talks about that. It says the secret is you must find the place inside of you where everything is possible. You have to stop talking negative self-talk to yourself and keeping yourself like weighed down, and know that you can do anything that you want to do as long as you apply yourself and keep telling yourself that you can do that. Kind of like the I will and the I am things that we said last week, that those positive things you wake up and tell yourself. So what was the next one? It kind of like you get a couple of paragraphs of reading something, and then they break down the secret, the part that you should, the footnotes of that part of the book. I think I skipped one. Nope. The next one was, you must envision your world through the eyes of positivity and possibility. The moment you do that, you open up a world of endless abundance. And it's just still going back to the way you think of things. So this kind of goes with the dream boards and goal boards that we do. You want to dream as big as you can, and never compare that to somebody else's plan. One person's plan might be, I want to live in a mansion. I want to have my dream super luxury car and, that kind of stuff, all the bright and shiny, sparkly things. Your goal, your dream could be, I want to pay off all my debt and have, just a traditional car. I want to sell my home and, like what I'm doing, sell my home, get an RV and travel and live like with minimal stuff. That to me is thinking grand and all my dreams coming true. But that might not be yours. So she calls it the limitless lux. So you think limitlessly and luxuriously for what you want to see happen. And envision that all the time. Just like, what am I working towards? I'm working towards this kind of goal for me. So when you see people like, oh, I just bought, I don't know, what do they do? Somebody posted like a Land Rover or something. Like, okay, cool. Don't let them reaching their goals make you feel defeated or jealous. Think about it as your own thing. And like, okay, that's going to be me paying off that car payment. That's going to be me paying off that credit card. You just have to put it into your own perspective of what you want to achieve. Let's see. I already covered that one. The next one was, her success is not your failure. So, like for me, I'll tell you guys, a lot of coaches are celebrating their 4 and 5 year coach anniversaries this month. Because we pretty much all joined the same month of the same year. Some of those coaches have quit, and some of them are earning almost $2 million. They're in the Millionaires Club, they're 15-star diamonds, or they're buying vacation homes, things like that. I'm going to congratulate them and know that they got there because of their hard work. Me, I've been the coach the same amount of time, but I'm where I want to be from my goals and the amount of work that I was willing to do. Okay? I didn't envision that kind of success. I envisioned right here, supporting family and going on our vacations and paying off debt and traveling and stuff like that. So if somebody signs up the same time as you or even after you and they see some kind of success, don't think of it as a failure on your part, because it's not. You can't ever fail. You never failed. If you don't reach a mark or reach a goal, it's not a step back. It's a step to learn from and to keep going and like to put a twist in there, to change it up a little bit. Let's see. They went into an interview from a lady from Mob Wives. I don't know that show, but Alicia DeMichelle, I guess is how you say it. And she went into creating her own business of a boutique store. And apparently her past was bad from what I get from the book. Terrible stuff. So she went on her own, with her sons. And she said, I know I want to be here for them. She would pick little phrases to keep her going all the time. And she puts them up in her boutique, in her office and things like that. And so when she comes across a day where she doesn't feel her best or forgets why she's working so hard, especially as a single mom, she sees these little words. And to put this into like a coach life, we do Post-its or write it with a dry erase marker on the mirror in the bathroom, or little reminders that you see all the time. So some of her words, I'm just going to tell them to you. One of them was family over everything, so FO. No matter what she was doing, whatever her schedule was, she was always make sure that she's there for her kids, for the events, to take them to school, to pick them up, to be at those things. And she ran her boutique all on her own. She did the ordering, the merchandising, everything, kind of like we do. And that's where the business hours come into play. And I always say, set a schedule, make it happen, stick to your business hours, and don't go over and don't feel like a slave to your inbox and all those notifications coming up, because you will burn out. You're not really valuing what you are working for, and it's not going to end good. You're going to want to quit before you even see success, or you'll just be stuck on a plateau of you've reached a certain point and now you're so overwhelmed and all this weight's coming down on you because you don't know how to balance it all, and you don't ever want to get there. So even if you're on a super high roll and you've got 1 billion Success Club points, so you're making like a great commission each week, know that you have to balance it out in order to sustain what you have going and to slowly grow it. One of her other words was warrior, because she's doing this all on her own. Love conquers hate. What did she say about that one? That love can cure almost everything, is what she says. So if you're sending out messages for like challenge groups or invites to coaching and you get nasty grams back, or you can just kind of tell there's an edge there that's not quite right, never ever respond spur of the moment like, okay, fine, whatever, do what you want to do. Okay. You might think that sometimes, but you just don't even know what you're talking about. Just step back. Remember why you're doing this. Remember what made you reach out to that person and where they're coming from. Because the love that you could have for that person and they could have for you in return would conquer any of those like things that are just like hitting your button at that moment. If the kids have been crazy all day, nothing went right, you're fighting with insurance companies, because that's common. Don't work that day. Don't work that hour or whatever. Just take time, because those people you're talking to have battles that are going on in their life too. And you don't want to keep feeding off of that. Let's see. Empower was one of her words. Women empowering women, or men empowering women, or whatever you want to call it. If you can go out, and I know a big thing we're trying to do in our very small town is to support all the other MLM spouses. It's like the thing to do suddenly. It's just booming out here. And what their first reaction is I want you to support me. I want you to buy from me. But I'm not going to go to your parties, and I'm not going to buy stuff from you because that's taking away my money. And so what we're trying to do is come together and empower each other. You network to each other because you're doing different things, different products and companies and services. I was 2 minutes late on this call because I was out at one of those things. It's like a lipstick thing. but I wanted to know about it. And I was like, that's something I want to support. And we went there, and I think almost every girl there is a distributor, is what most of them are called, distributor of something else. And we didn't care. Like, there was no feelings there. It was just friendships. And that is what will grow your own business and your reputations. The more you have yourself out there with the other companies and stuff, they can see what you represent more than, say, this other person. Like for Beachbody, people might have bad taste in their mouth from other coaches years ago, or other customers, or people just on message boards that are like, oh, that doesn't work, because they didn't follow the plan. But or they didn't reach out to their coach for help, or that coach didn't help them. But there's a lot of people out there with a negative taste in their mouth for it. And until they meet the right person, until they meet you at a Sudsy party or at a friend's barbecue or at church, they won't ever know what they could gain from this, from trusting in somebody that's truly out there to help them. So you always want to empower the people that are around you and befriend them and support them and treat them with the kindness that you would hope they would treat you in your business, okay? But that's all I got out of chapter 1. It's definitely, I don't know if I'm going to pass this one on because it's really good. Usually I pass my personal development books on, like some of them I've sent to other coaches and hope they've read them. And it was pretty cool. Like the end of the chapter, you make a list of everything you desire. So like your dream board. But close your eyes, put yourself in a quiet, still place, and just really envision what you want to have come out of this. So like what we announced at the end of it, paying off debt, and being with family and all that from last week, write it down and read it every day. Read it and remind yourself of what you're working towards. Just get a clear picture and put it all down and think, as her words, limitless lux, or dream big. That was it on that. So that was my prep for the call. But the biggest thing is to believe in yourself and support the people around you so that you can be supported too, because that's the key to everything. If you put yourself in solitude, you stay in your house, because we are an at-home business. If you sit in your house all day and you're purely on social media, only on Facebooks and YouTubes and stuff, it's going to get lonely. You're going to get weighed down and bored, and you're going to lose your focus of what you're truly doing. I'm a huge, huge supporter of getting out there and doing something in the community, whether it's through volunteering or going to the parks and meeting people, or going to your church groups, or whatever you have that you want to do, just to meet people and be face to face. Because I've had conversations with coaches this week that have been in the business for as long as I have, and they're like, I've lost the passion. I've lost this. And it's because they've quit their brick and mortar job. They've come home to do this, and they've just stayed home. They stopped getting out in the community. Fit clubs, they don't do fit clubs anymore, and kind of just get a little too serious about it, and they don't have the fun out with other people face to face anymore. So don't ever let that stop. Become a social butterfly, or whatever you need to be, because it'll keep your passion alive to keep going. Okay. Do you guys have anything to talk about?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Hey everyone, how many people are on the call? 5? Okay. Let me jump to my notes. Okay, so these it's not like, whoa, super cool or important or whatever. So I'm just trying to contribute something. But one thing I see on my newsfeed are sponsored posts, for like local boot camps. Do you guys ever see those? So one thing that I just started doing, excuse me, is or I don't know if you're all familiar with, like, if you see a post that you like, you can save it and go back to it later. So I always save it. And then on that sponsored post, there's always like 200 likes. And so these are all local people who are wanting to lose weight, and they're asking about prices. And so, like, what I've been doing is I'll add them as a friend, see if they accept, and I'll send them a message and I'll say, hey, I saw you on that boot camp post. That looks cool. You're welcome to join my free fitness friendship group. And we have about 200 people in there. There's no sales. There's, it's just like, support, friendship, we have jokes and that kind of a thing. And then, they always join it. And then I do, keep that, I keep that group like ad-free, sponsor-free, where it's just a place where people can go to talk about health, but I'm the only admin to it. So, but then, like when we become friends, then they can see, like the Beachbody posts on my page, but it won't be in that group, but it just connects me to someone who does want to do fitness. And then, so there's that. I just started doing that like a week ago. And then, and then another thing that I just did a week ago is, excuse me, I'm kind of nervous. So I don't have any coaches, really on my downline, because I'm new. I'm just, getting into all this, but for when I do have coaches, for when I really get rocking and rolling, what I want to have is like, and I'm kind of working on this right now, but it's just going to have like a lot of helpful, tips. It's kind of going to be just like an informational guide. Like, for instance, one of the things I added, like I've been trying to do this for months, is like, when you're on Facebook and you see a really good video and you can't download it. Like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with like ripping, like downloading YouTube videos. I've done that, but for a while I just haven't really been able to find out how to download the Facebook videos. So I just barely found a really good link to it. And I'm going to have that like in my informational guide. But so along with giving them like a welcome packet, I also created like secret groups where, it's pretty much just me in it. And I'll have like all my Shakeology posts, all of my like fitness posts, just like different ideas. And so that way, like when coaches down the road beneath me, when they need help, because a lot of people, are good writers. And if you're not if you don't have that natural talent, it's easy to get stumped. And I think that like what I want to try to do is like when I do bring on coaches and when I really get this thing going, I just really want to make it like as effortless as possible. Like, here, copy these posts, change some words, and it's there for you, like make it your own. And same thing with like I have a group with just recipes, where it's like just set up with like real, cute bullet points and just, like a nice photo. And then, like everyone on our friends list, they don't need to know that we didn't cook and eat that item that day. You know what I mean? So like, that's just kind of my goal, is to like build build up my posts, but have it categorized. And then, and then one other thing, like I'm almost done. And then another thing that was really cool is, it was like a team call that like on YouTube that Lindsay Matway was running, and like one of the things she was saying was just like adding friends, like where is it at? Like she was just saying like you can have two farmers and they have like the same soil, the same seeds, they're doing the same exact thing. Like, I don't know if you guys have all heard this already, but they can be doing the same things, but one farmer, he plants 20 seeds, and the other farmer, he plants 2,000 seeds. Who's going to have the bigger harvest? It doesn't mean that like he's any better. He's just like he's got yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do, is just like add more friends and just get going on all this. So so that's all I have for now, just to kind of like throw out there for fun.
The adding the friends part is the toughest wall for every coach to get over. So
is it? That's the easiest for me. Yeah.
People will say,
Yeah.
"Where do I find more people? I don't know who to talk to." And we tell them, go to groups that you are interested in, to
Yeah.
your hobbies, and have conversations with them and send people friend requests that you've been talking to.
Yeah.
The wall that will stop coaches from building their business is because they run out of their warm market and they are not confident enough to go into that cold market and friend people and start those conversations.
Yeah, I've seen that. Like, I've seen different coaches, and they'll have good content on their pages, and then like I'll go to their page like, you know, like months later, I'm like, oh my gosh, they have the same amount of friends, and they're doing great stuff, but it's like, why don't they have like 1,000 by now, you know, or something like that. But one thing that I do is I don't know if like some people feel intimidated to create their own groups, but like the very first group that I ever did, it was called Everything Free, and it was like the city I live in, you know, and then what I did was I would go to other group pages and I would say, hey, would you guys like to join my Everything Free group? And then I would have a link, and people join that like crazy. And then it's cool because you're the admin and there's really no work involved, I promise you. Like, you know, for a while I had it on like where I would have to approve the posts, because you never know if like weird things are going to get thrown in there or what, but I just let it run. And it's just nice being the admin, because you can have it to where you have to approve people. And then, you know, you can kind of screen through and think, oh, this person, you know, I would like to add them as a friend. So then you can message them and say, hi, I'm the admin to, you know, the Everything Free group. I wanted to welcome you. And hey, by the way, I added you as a friend, and, you know, we do occasional giveaways, and then they always accept my friend requests. So I have like a girl talk group, you know, but I'm the admin of like, oh my God, like 15 pages, because I do other marketing. And so I'm the admin of those. And then I probably have like, oh my gosh, like 200 groups.
We lost.
Yeah. Can you hear me? I had a call come in.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. They'll probably end up calling back, so I'll have to go if they do. But anyways, but yeah, become an admin. It's easy to do, and then one thing to build the group up. This is one thing that you kind of have. Okay, here we go. So sorry, I'll be quick. Is the like do a $5 Starbucks giveaway just once, you know, and then it'll build momentum, and then from there, once you get like 200 to 300 people in your group, it just gets huge on its own. But you do have to do the work to get like 200 people in it, and then boom, it like, especially like Everything Free group or a yard sale group, and then people just come, they flock to it, because, you know, Facebook will suggest your group to other people. So, but anyways, that's kind of all I've got.
That's basically because we move around. I do that with Fit Club groups. I open, before I even get to a place or a new town or wherever, I advertise that I'm new to town and I need workout buddies and all that, and I'll open a Fit Club page for the city.
Oh, nice.
Advertise it everywhere. So it's always fitness related. Fit Club is always free, but I will always hold a free workout.
Nice.
And you get to meet a whole lot of different people as long as you have a place to do it at. You meet a whole lot of people, and you grow your business because you're offering free workouts, which are samples of Beachbody workouts, and you can offer samples at those workouts sometimes if you want to. And it just, natural progression just happens.
Yeah.
That's how I started my business, was through Fit Clubs in Okinawa, and it grew huge. And then so I started it here too, and then I went to actual teaching. But
cool, awesome. Well, put everything into play and really start, getting into action here. Yeah.
Even if you have to use a script from the Beachbody Challenge or the Bombshell Dynasty website, just send those out and be like, hey, I'm doing a challenge group. Like, get them out of the free mentality of I'm your free coach, but typically if everything is free, then they won't see the results because there's not an investment.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to invest in themselves to make it worth it. And I even find a lot of times if all they buy is a program, I had 2 girls buy Brazil butt lift at the same time, and they didn't stick with it. The ones who bought Brazil butt lift and Shakeology stuck with it, and they're still going. It's just, you kind of just have to stick with them and keep conversations going, especially if they've started out as the free. They have to see value in you.
Hey, I have a question. Do most coaches do they like run the challenge, like they'll have one challenge a month, or do they do like, because I know that Becca, she just had a group where people would just like post on their own, and I don't know if that was her challenge group where people just did it on their own, or like how do you do it? Do you take control and then do a challenge group, or do you just have like a free running group like that?
When there's new programs out, I will start a new test group for that program, and only those doing that program are allowed in. But otherwise, unless I have something very specific I'm going for, I add them all into the one group, but I must be the coach. They must be doing a Beachbody program or on the supplement, something Beachbody affiliated, and they get added to that group. Bridget does it totally different.
How's that? How does she do it? Tell me. Okay.
Well, I have a group. I have a fitness group that I started with a list of prospects and my very first customers, and that's kind of how I engaged people. And sure enough, the people that I've had on that list since I became a coach last fall have gradually become more and more engaged, and especially as you post progress pictures, like I have done this week, they're even more wowed by the results. And I have really embraced the new My Challenge Tracker app. It is phenomenal. It pulls people out of Facebook so they don't get distracted. You can preload all your posts, which it takes about 2 hours or so because I try to do 3 posts a day. But I don't have to sit on my phone 3 times a day getting sucked into everything else going on. And it's open-ended. It encourages participation between participants. And it's just for that specific amount of time. What sucks is when you're riding the enthusiasm of your people you're gaining from your power hours, which you should have regularly, and you start new challenge groups every week, and you're spending 2 hours every week making a new group on your challenge tracker app that has to be fresh from the previous round that they came off, because you can't recreate a group to use later. You have to redo all of it. That's my only complaint about that app. The rest of it is absolutely amazing. So it's been such a benefit to not be in Facebook. It allows folks to track their workouts, their Shakeology. I'm about to use it for a Biggest Loser challenge group, and I'm going to have points for participation, and it's really been a blessing. So I use both, but for the challenge group, it's all on the app.
Nice. Thank you.
I create an event on Facebook. They have to RSVP because I can't keep up with I have 21 people right now in my upcoming challenge group.
Wow. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. So a lot of them are repeat though, because I haven't had the time to work my business this month. That's why I'm struggling with 2 days left to make Success Club, but it's okay. God has a plan. So
and you're sharing
Cool.
before and afters of all the hard work you've done the past 3 months. So Bridget starts a new group every time there's like 5 people or whatever.
5 people, yeah.
She doesn't roll them into groups that are already happening. So
Okay.
she's always starting a new group,
Yeah.
which is a lot of work, but you're giving those people the benefit of all the brand new stuff, you know.
You're rolling with their enthusiasm, and you're also able to pull people who might have fallen off the bandwagon. They've fallen off a routine. They had, life happens, and they're like, oh, I did good the first week and then I sucked the second week. Okay, great. Like, are you ready? Are you going to be ready next Monday? Because I got a new group starting. They don't have to wait 2 weeks. It sucks for you, but it's about the journey. You got to roll with the enthusiasm. But we have less than a minute. So Ryan, you want to close up?
There it goes. Okay. Yeah. Awesome stuff. So this is recorded and I will post the link. If y'all have any questions,